Gas prices are on the move again and getting cheaper. Starting Friday, O's fans will be having to go through metal detectors, a new initiative being done across the nation. As stabbing on board the light rail, find out why police say you have no reason to worry. I'm Dominic Proto here at the Baltimore Conservatory, where there was a late-night break-in, and you won't believe what they stole. I'll have that story coming up next on WJZ. Didn't catch a ticket to tonight's game? I'm Dominic Proto here in the Inner Harbor to tell you where you can still catch all the action.
Hello, Domestic Violence Sexual Assault Hotline. How may I help you?
Joe Klein, a volunteer for the Domestic Violence Sexual Abuse Hotline, says he chose to help because he feels compassion towards victims and says that domestic violence can occur to anyone at any time.
They thought that what they're living through is just going to be the rest of their life. That's just how it is. And many are relieved that there's actually an agency, something that they can actually be in touch with and help them.
Former Ravens player Ray Rice recently making headlines for domestic violence.
It's not acceptable in the society, to be an abuser, and that there are circumstances and that there are penalties for, being an abuser.
The hotline averages over 400 calls a month, and now volunteers are being asked to be that person on the other line.
And last month we had about 70.
Terry Blevins, a survivor of domestic violence, has found the hotline to be an opportunity for a brighter future.
I would tell them to call the hotline, and I would tell them to that's possible to leave and that they could have a whole new life.
This is just ridiculous.
The frigid temperatures in Baltimore City have led to dozens of water main breaks across town. Now, residents are getting less and less patient with city officials to get their water back.
When they saw our problem, we wasn't as labeled as a big problem, In other words, they had other projects that was worse than ours.
With nearly 4,000 calls in the backlog, the Department of Public Works has tripled their staff.
They had other projects that was worse than ours.
Between the plaza and water main breaks, cars parked along the street have been buried in snow and ice. Some cars have even been frozen to the ground. And until the snow melts, it does not seem like those cars are going anywhere. Reporting for WJZ, I'm Dom Proto.
Too be good looking 'cause it's so hard to see.
A fun-filled opening weekend for the Orioles. The sold-out crowd saw a few changes to the stadium for this season on opening day.
In accordance with MLB policy, where every ballpark in the country now will screen fans before they come into the game, of course, for the safety of those fans. So there will be a little bit of a longer entry period. Fans will have their bags checked as always.
Another change fans can expect is how soon the gates will open before the game.
So to help out with that, we've opened the gates 2 hours before every game this year instead of 90 minutes. So that should help a great deal. Every entrance now for all fans, not just season ticket holders.
No matter how long the wait at the gates, fans won't miss the AL East champions in Birdland. I'm Dom Proto with Eyewitness News. A woman faces serious charges for abandoning her 21-year-old quadriplegic son in the woods. Police say Nia Parler left her son near Cobbs Creek in Philadelphia. She then came here to Maryland to visit her boyfriend. Her son is nonverbal and paralyzed from the neck down. A passerby found him in the woods under a blanket with a Bible 5 days later. He is now in stable condition at the hospital. The Montgomery County parents accused of child neglect for letting their children walk alone will no longer be able to do so after the kids are picked up by Child Protective Services. Yesterday, Danielle and Sasha Maytief's children, ages 6 and 10, were playing alone in the park. Someone called police and they were taken by Child Protective Services. To get their kids back, the parents had to sign a safety plan that prohibits them from leaving their children unattended. A 200-year-old piece of history, the Mount Vernon Conservatory unveiled the Washington Monument's historic cornerstone. It was temporarily removed and opened on February 18th. The contents found are now in archival storage, and the stone will be replaced with new content, including a 3D replica of George Washington. Thank you for watching. I'm Dominic Proto with WJZ.